Thanks for joining us today. I'm Nick from the AANA. I'm here today with Nicole Bardsley, CMO from Cashrewards. Hi.
Colette. Thanks for the interview.
Thanks so much for joining us. So we've got a few questions and I can't wait to hear all about what you do. Can I get started by just asking, you work with so many incredible brands. Can you tell us, do you have a favourite?
Yeah, look, we're very fortunate at Cashrewards. We get to work with 2,000 brands covering a wide range of categories. So a selection of those are like Booking.com, The Iconic, Apple, BWS, Pet Barn, like the list is endless. And like personally, there's a few that constantly appear within my Cashrewards balance. But you know, I am also the mum of two little boys, and so there's lots of things I need to shop for them. So Cotton On is one of those brands that is constantly part of my Cashrewards, and we work with Cotton On really closely across all of their 7 brands, and they're a really great example of a brand that we get to work with beyond the traditional affiliate model. And we've done lots of work with them beyond just affiliate marketing into brand and awareness building. They've got involved in some of our native content and some of our partnerships. So we did a partnership with Love Island last year, and they created a bespoke solution and were part of the competition for that activation. So yeah, that's a great example of a brand that I love purchasing from, and my boys love it.
Yes, I totally understand that brand purchase.
Yeah, and look, the way that we work, just about how Cashrewards works
Yes,
with
please,
those
I'd love
2,000
to.
brands.
Yeah.
So we're a dual-sided marketplace. So we have 2 million members on the consumer side who get to shop across all of our brands, and if they purchase through us, either through our app or our website, or download the notifiers when they're searching on Google, they get cash back on their shopping. So it's a bit of a win-win from a consumer point of view. But on the merchant side, there's 2,000 brands on our platform, and we partner in a partnership where they pay us for cost per acquisition for every sale that we send through to them, and so it's a win-win for them as well because it's very low risk.
Yeah, absolutely. Great model. Well, let's hear a little bit about you. I've got lots of questions, burning questions about Cashrewards, but I want to hear a little bit about you, please. Can you tell me a little bit about your career, what it's taken you to get here, or maybe just a quick highlight?
Yeah, look, I've been really fortunate that I've been able to work with some pretty big Australian and a couple of international brands over my career, and brands like Westpac, Virgin Mobile, David Jones here in Australia, Foxtel, and a few internationally as well. And the one thing that I've always seen as a highlight everywhere I get to work is the ability to grow and develop a brand, but also to translate that into really tangible growth for the business. And that's why the opportunity, I guess, at Cashrewards stood out to me. I don't know about you, but a couple of years ago when I was approached about the role here, I hadn't really heard of Cashrewards at all. And back then we had like really low levels of spontaneous awareness. But it was an opportunity to come into a business and grow that brand and shift perceptions of it in the industry, both within our merchant industry but also consumers. And that's, I think, the highlight of what I've been able to do and what the team have been able to achieve over the past 2 years. So we took a brand that was relatively unknown, and we've seen in the last 12 months we've had massive increases in awareness. So we've had a big 14-point jump within 12 months in our spontaneous awareness,
incredible.
Which is a lot over a really short period of time. And beyond that, it's been all the increases that we've seen in terms of our member base. So we hit 2 million members last year. The base has grown over 40% over the last year. Our members are more active than they have been before, so that's grown over 50% year on year. And yeah, just being able to like translate a brand that no one had heard of into something that's really delivering some tangible results for us as a business, but also for the partners, our merchant partners that we work with. So we hit 4 billion in TTV that we're driving to those merchant partners a couple of months ago. So,
And for the dummies, what's TTV?
Total transaction value.
Right,
Yeah.
thank you.
So
You've been a retail marketer, so that's
revenue
good.
we're driving to those brands. So yeah, that's kind of been a highlight of the past 2 years, and you know, we've taken the brand from something that was, you know, a little bit outdated, and you know, we did that through modernising the brand, investing in kind of injecting emotion into the brand. We launched a big brand campaign. We totally changed our targeting and our audience strategy, the way that we were buying our media and working with partners. through to the way that our members experience the brand across our app and our website as well. So it's all of those things combined. That's a bit of a highlight for me.
Yeah, wow, very impressive. And it perfectly leads me on to my next question, actually, because it's really, to me, it seems like this is the perfect storm for you coming into this role, where the economic landscape has probably played a major component in driving the consumer towards a product like Cashrewards. Can you tell us, I'm just inferring here, by the way, but can you tell us a little bit about how the consumer, potentially post-pandemic or over the last year, 2 years, you take your timeline, has changed?
Yeah, look, I mean, we are all looking for ways to save money at the moment, with rising interest rates and inflation. So I think everyone's thinking about what they're spending a little bit more, and we've certainly seen that translate in terms of our member base and the members that are joining us. So we've talked to our members, and most of them are concerned about their finances at the moment, but they've also told us that they're more than 80% likely to continue spending more with us because of the money it's saving back and putting back into their pockets.
Yep.
And they see us as a way of helping their overall financial position, and that is definitely coming through in terms of the results that we're seeing. I think everyone is a little bit savvier at the moment about what they're spending on, and consumers are sort of shopping around to get the best deal and looking for ways to save not only on like everyday purchases, grocery items, utilities, all of those sort of things, but there's also, wanting to save on the things to treat yourself. And Cashrewards acts a little bit like a secret savings account. So it helps you put things away for your rainy day in your Cashrewards wallet, and our members can choose to withdraw that into their PayPal or bank account. I know I'm sort of saving up my balance at the moment so that I can take that out to help pay for Christmas presents in the next month or so.
I feel like I'm about to sign up for that very reason. Maybe it'll take a year. So do you have to accumulate a certain amount of points or cash or anything before you can take that money out?
I think it's a minimum of $10. Yeah, so that gives you the ability to you can take it out a little bit at a time. And it's interesting the behaviour. I know we talk about it as a team, there's some of us that take it out once, every $20 they get, whereas I tend to be treat it like a secret savings account, that little rainy day fund that you're adding up and you're saving up over time.
So you like to splurge, is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Love that. I feel like maybe you've already answered my next question, because my next question is a follow-on from that, and it's describing what trends you're starting to see, and maybe it's
Yeah, we're definitely seeing that people are shopping around more for a better deal, but we're also seeing that in this environment where everyone's worried about the cost of living, that cashback's becoming more appealing than points-based programs, because it is giving you something really hard and tangible, and sometimes it's hard to understand what is a point worth. So we did a recent study with Inside Retail, and that showed us that consumers are much more likely to see cashback as appealing in this climate. In fact, more than 50% of them are. We're also finding that people are using cashback more regularly, so it is really growing, and we've certainly seen that in terms of the growth in our customer base that I mentioned earlier. So there's definitely that trend, but I would say everyone's looking for ways to save, but it's not necessarily stopping them from spending on those things to treat yourself. So travel is a category that is not stopping anytime soon for us. So we've actually seen the travel categories over 100% up year on year, which I think is that reaction to that post-COVID era where we're just, Australians love to travel, right?
Absolutely.
So, there's still, and travel's a great example where we work really closely with Booking.com and many other travel partners, and it's a really, it's often a big ticket item that you're purchasing, and it makes it a really tangible saving that we're delivering.
Amazing. Okay, so I think you've covered off a few of these points, but I'd love to hear a little bit more. But specifically, what are you doing to connect with your consumers? Is there something that you see is working especially well? Have you potentially tested trials and things that you could talk to us about?
Yeah, look, if I go back to our brand strategy that we developed a couple of years ago, the essence of our brand is about delivering those everyday moments of joy. And that really came about from research that we did, which identified that when you get cashback, you get this moment of, yes, I just got a great deal.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
And that was that original insight, which is like, it's like a dopamine hit. It's that emotional reaction that you get when you know you've got a good deal. I know, like me personally, I'm the type of shopper that I focus on how much I save versus the how much I spend, and that's the bit that, you know, you feel really proud of, right?
Relate to that.
So that insight that we got from research really helped us develop the brand strategy, which is Yay to Cashback, and we developed that in that campaign that we did. So we transported our members into this fictional, very surreal world called Yaytopia, where is a world that's celebrating that moment of joy when they're getting cash back. And we did a bit of pre-testing on that campaign to the other part of your question. So we tested the campaign with some neuro testing to make sure that we were really hitting that sweet spot and getting that emotional engagement. We had 3 different executions. It gave us a really good steer about which one was going to be the most impactful, and then it gave us some optimization in order to do to the campaign to make it more effective pre. And then we do post-testing on our campaigns, and we've seen that those that have seen the campaign are more than 2 times likely to consider joining Cashrewards as a result. So we're really feeling like that platform has connected, and that's why it's continuing on. In terms of other ways that we connect, we use PR a lot in Cashrewards, particularly because there's a bit of a trust barrier that we need to overcome. People often think that cashback is too good to be true, and that like, why are you giving me free money? What's the catch? And so there's a bit of a hurdle there we have to overcome. And so the end of last year, actually, we're about to do something similar again. We did an activation where we had billboards filled with $5 notes in a couple of different locations. And it was a bit of a social experiment to see how people responded to that free money. And, you know, would they come up and take it, or would they be too nervous? And
I feel like it would be the latter.
It's kind of fascinating. Yeah, it's like someone has to get it started, and once these people see other people doing it, they feel more inclined to do it.
Yeah.
But the premise behind that was, you know, why not sign up for a Cashrewards? Because it's free money. Like, why wouldn't you want to save? And, you know, that helps us sort of overcome that barrier that there's a catch, or, you know, that there's something hidden there, which there isn't. We also use ambassadors to help spread that word. So we've worked a lot with John Gibson, who launched his book Kill Bills earlier this year about how to save money in this environment, with Molly Benjamin from Lady Finance Club, and they help us, you know, just connect in a way with different types of audiences. And then lastly, the other way that we connect is we've just onboarded a whole new MarTech stack to enable us to better connect one-on-one with our members. So we've got a new customer data platform that enables our marketers to create custom audiences. It's fueled by a personalisation engine to make sure that we're delivering the right brands and the right offers to our members at the right moment. And then probably the thing that the team are most excited about is we've brought on Braze as our customer engagement platform, which just gives us a whole new world of sophistication in terms of creating our lifecycle triggers and our automated campaigns. And there's a whole host of new options that we have there, like rich push notifications, which just enable us to connect in a more engaging way with our members.
And multi-channel across platforms.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah.
Is there one channel? Exciting. Yeah, absolutely. I love that stuff. And is there any one channel that you're seeing working more effectively than another?
Oh, look, app is really key. It's a really great experience. We're trying to drive as much traffic through to download our app as well. Yeah. But I mentioned before the notifier. So if you're the type of person that forgets about Cashrewards and you forget to come to us to do your shopping, the notifier is a really great thing to install into like Google Chrome or your browser, because it will pop up and give you what the cashback offer is at the retailer that you're looking for. And so it's just a great way to, if you sometimes forget, it just helps remind you, and it takes you through to our platform to make sure you're getting the cashback.
Very last question for you. I think maybe you've touched on a few little bits and pieces here, but can you tell me what you're doing differently, or if you could perhaps talk about something new and exciting that's coming up that we can share with our members?
Yeah, so I think the part of the reason I joined Cashrewards is we've got a really beautiful brand purpose that came from our founders. The business was founded back in 2014 by Andrew and Larika Clark, who they had a sick child and they wanted to find a way to give back to the Starlight Foundation to say thank you for the help that they received. And we have that partnership with the Starlight Foundation now, still going. And we were one of the first businesses to donate 1% of our profits, and now it's 1% of all cashback redeemed by our members to the Starlight Foundation. And I think it's something that does set us apart because you're not only getting money back on your purchases that's good for you, we're delivering great outcomes to our merchant partners, but we're also helping sick children and their families. And over the past 9 years, we've donated over 1.4 million to the Starlight Foundation. So I think that really sets us apart.
Very impressive, very impressive. And yeah, it really does tug on your heartstrings, I'm going to say.
Yeah, and it's something that everyone in the team is super passionate about. Everyone gets involved in volunteering opportunities, and they're really, really passionate about that connection. And then in terms of what's coming and what's exciting, so we just launched a new retail media proposition called Circuit by Cashrewards, and the retail media industry is growing hugely at the moment. And what's interesting about Cashrewards in the retail media space is that we have one of the broadest views of data across all of the 20 categories that we represent. So from travel to pets to utilities and finance to fashion and beauty, so that really broad perspective of consumer purchasing behaviour is really interesting from a data and targeting point of view. And I think the other thing is our customer base are poised and ready to shop. So they're a very high intent audience. They're looking actively for the best deal. And so that gives the ability for us to work with brand partners beyond the performance model that we've had to date in cashback into starting then to help our brand partners with awareness and consideration driving campaigns and to get in front of consumers at the right moment. It could be a new product launch or something else that they want to convey or sell within their business. So yeah, that's super exciting. We only launched it a few weeks ago and it's doing really well so far.
Congratulations, sounds fantastic. Well, I really look forward to doing a little bit more research, and maybe you can send us some of the creative so we can share with everybody as well.
Yeah, great.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time, and we'll talk again soon.
Thanks, Nicole.